So what I'm going to share with you is like, it's a birth story. So there's definitely something that's trying to come alive, that needs air, that needs attention, stuff like that. So as I was going along, trying to get on my feet, trying to make a dollar, trying not to go back to prison, trying to be a good mother, trying to, be a partner, trying to be all these things, what I seen and what I noticed was doing the sexual assault and domestic violence work, I seen firsthand in my community that men had become the biggest source of harm within the community. Nobody was beating our women more than our own men. Nobody was being nasty to our kids more than our own men. And that was really hard to accept and to see over and over and over and over and over, to the point where you burn out. You burn out and you get resentful. That's where I was. It took me about 4 years. I burned out quarterly, almost every 3 to 4 months. Go home, cry for days, come back out, act like nothing happened. Can't talk to nobody about it, can't, just clean up the mess. Every girlfriend he has, clean up his mess, clean it up. He's beating this one up, beating the next one. And I can't say nothing about it. Sometimes I want to go up to him in the diner and be like, listen up, buddy, all right? But I can't do that. So I'm thinking about violence in the community. I'm thinking about incarceration. I'm looking at all these adversities. And so I started thinking about power. I started thinking about the strategy of power, because the whole time I was incarcerated, everybody was reading romance books, but I wasn't feeling very romantic in there for some reason. And I just read psychology books. I read psychology books. And mind you, I'm a high school dropout, dropped out in 11th grade, had, kids, overdosed, tried to commit suicide, all the good stuff that we have as statistics as Indigenous women, right? You pull up Indigenous women on Google, all our dirty closet business comes right up on the first thing. So anyways, getting back to the birth. So in the birth story, what ended up happening is that I got so angry with our men that I started to hate them. I hated them. And it was consuming me. And I couldn't sleep at night, and I'm worried about everybody's kids, and probably not as much as I should have been worrying about my own. And I asked for help. And I said, what do I do for all this? So I couldn't see no men. And I was feeling a little bit hopeless. So what I did is I went out for 4 days and 4 nights, and I fasted. And I put 7 kernels of white corn in every direction. And I said, I need help. I can't see no men, no dads, no uncles, no brothers. I can't see them. And I need help. I grew up no dad, no men around. So within that year, the coalition got a grant for a men's division, and within 8 months, I was working alongside men, addressing domestic violence. That was a game changer. And the reason why that was a game changer is because now you have men and women both addressing the harm of intimate violence. So the men that I'm now working with are also formerly incarcerated, and they have extra homes that they're renting out to people. So I'm starting to see this business avenue of real estate and generating money. We have housing issue. I'm starting to see that the men have become a huge source. And don't get me wrong, guys, women are extremely violent too. We are actually scaling statistically, and women are killing more kids. We are becoming the abuse that we've been enduring for evolutions. So I don't want to discredit that, because I do want to acknowledge that women are causing harm too. And so, but with that, I just wanted to say that in the fusion of bringing men and women together, we have ceremonies for that, we have balance for that, we have celestial knowledge for that. And so the school and the law that I'm looking to be extremely excelled and diligent in is in natural law, earth law, human law. Those laws, the universal laws, those are what govern me. And when I know a universal law, I know that whatever I put out in the universe is coming back to me, so you can bet your behind I ain't trying to do nothing wrong, because I don't want it coming back to me. So anyways, but with that, so what I did was, and I'm going to keep it moving, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to take up the panel. So, and I know people are hungry, and I don't like to do that. That's not smart. But anyway, so what I seen was the strategy then was in order to create power within the community, a healthy power. So there's different forms of power. You have power and control, which is the abusive relationship. And then you have the power of consensus, the power of the agreement, which is what these governing bodies say that they're about, but they're really not, right? So anyways, so what I seen was that if I have men and women, we have a real estate opportunity here. So I had to put myself back into my drug dealing ways. And I said, well, actually, I wasn't like dealing out, I was moving large quantities of untaxed product over an invisible border. And so anyways, I was in the transport business. And I made a lot of money at a very young age. But anyways, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about, so what I started thinking about is I said, oh, okay, I got to start thinking like the drug dealer. And the reason why I need to start, because that's who my competition is right now. You're trying to prey on all these people because they're vulnerable. And I'm also going to jump in the ring and do the same thing. And so I was just trying to be more appealing. So yeah, you can go with him, go buy a drug, go do what you got to do. Or you can come over here and I'll give you a tiny home and I'll give you a sisterhood and I'll encourage the brotherhood and I'll give you a lodge and I'll sing you a song and I'll tell you that I love you and I tell you that you got this and you don't have to kick the dog. You don't have to ignore your kids. You don't have to hit your partner, because I made myself at that point, the men in my community, I became their sister. And when I became a sister, I viewed everything differently. I couldn't hate them no more because they were my brothers. I couldn't throw them away anymore because they were my family. So I challenged myself to shift the perspective so that I could move differently. And it's always helped, and it's been worked out really well. And you can all take that with you. I don't own it or nothing like that. Like, you can just, it's a strategy. So in the strategy of that, the thing was, so now I look at the strategy of oppression. And so as you're moving, if I'm trying to transition people out of a system of oppression, how do I transition them into a system of joy? And where do systems of joy live? In the home. So this is why we give people a home and we give them community, because that's a system of joy. But the only thing is, if we keep them in a system of oppression, any system of oppression, you have to oppress in order to get ahead. That's the problem with this society. You have to oppress other people in order to get ahead in life. So anyways, so with that, I've just beautifully laid down 4 pieces of concrete. I have 4 houses built. I have men willing to do that. So this was the goal. The goal was I could keep women and children safe in my community by going to the source of the harm with the men. I could also make money from, whatever they pay for people coming out, right? I'll take money from the state. And the other thing that I didn't want them to do is I didn't want them to get desperate. So what they have with the tiny home is they have 1 trip around the sun. 1 year, you have 1 trip around the sun, and you save your money, and we'll help you get back into the. I'm not probation. I don't have to do only that. But the thing that I want to raise up is, as I was also doing MMIWG work, and then trying to do the incarceration work, people are biting back at me now, and wanting me to choose. Well, you say you're about missing and murdered Indigenous women, and now you're over here helping these guys come out of prison who have murdered women. And again, I had to sit back down and ask, what do you want me to do with this? Because I don't have all the answers. And every time I ask, I get an answer.